Hi, and welcome to today's show, where I will be sharing insights about the demise of passwords and the rise of passkeys. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Bybreen Samuels, and I help baby boomers reinvent themselves psychologically, practically, and technically so they can thrive in the third act of life. So this week, I had the opportunity to go to the fantastic conference, which is called Technology, Behavior and Data, which is the brainchild of Paul Armstrong. And it was fantastic on so many different reasons. And I can't wait to dive into the replays. Now, the focus was around technology, behavior, and data. And the keynote speaker was Tom Standage. And he's the editor for this fabulous magazine. Can you see it? It's The Economist, The World Ahead, and they publish it every November and December for the year ahead. And I remember reading it, and there was one tiny little article which was talking about passkeys. And passkeys are then going to supersede passwords. And Tom referenced it in his talk on Wednesday. So I thought I'd bring this kind of latest update that's happening, that's touching all of our lives, given that, you know, we are really au fait with passwords. We've been using them since the dawn of time when the internet was born. And so we're used to this idea of having a username, email address, and then a password. And so that's what I wanted to kind of really bring you today in terms of where are we with the world of passwords and why are we moving more towards passkeys? Well, you know, there's cybersecurity, there's lots of hacking, there's lots of breaking into people's accounts, stealing data, stealing identity. You know, there's just a whole raft of issues that affect us the more that we dive in and live far more exponentially within the online world. And so therefore we need some protection. And the protection comes in the form, as we've known it to date, around passwords. And I discovered this week there's actually a day that recognizes it's World Password Day that was actually introduced by a security expert called Mark Burnett. And he kind of launched this day as a way to help us become more aware about the online dangers that actually exist and how we can actually bring more protection into our own worlds, into our own lives. And then it kind of lay dormant for a while. And then Intel, the microprocessing giants, they're the ones who kind of resurrected it back in 2013. And every year around the beginning of May, this day is kind of celebrated or highlighted. And then fast forward to last year, May the 5th, 2022. And there's been a further development because FIDO Alliance, together with Apple, Google, and Microsoft have come together to really address this problem of hacking, loss of data, protection, and, you know, this kind of peace of mind that all of us are looking for when we use the internet. And so FIDO actually stands for Fast ID Online. And as an alliance, they create the protocols that are shaping and driving what we're now moving into, which is a passwordless sign-in process. And so that's where we're going. And the three kind of tech giants really have come together. You know, they're investing time and resources because of the recognition that they want to provide more safety to us as we use their products and services. And, you know, with regards to passkeys, they can be used in terms of on browsers. So whether you're using Google Chrome or, you know, Microsoft Edge or Firefox, or whether you're using the Android operating system or iOS, it really doesn't matter because the whole idea is to have this cross functionality that once you sign in once, then you can use everything. So this is the direction that they're moving into. So with Google, what they're saying is, okay, so you want to sign in, you can actually sign in through Google Chrome. Then you're going to be using Windows, which is on the operating system. And then you'll actually be accessing the online world using an Apple product. So you can see there's this real attempt to bring integration and kind of synergizing all the different tools that we use, because ordinarily what we tend to do is have maybe one, two, for those of us who may be a little bit more aware, three or more passwords that every time we sign in, we've got to use the password. But invariably what tends to happen is that people stick to maybe one or two passwords, and they use that right across every single app and website that they sign into. And I came across this statistic from Business Insider. And what they noted was that of the 10,000 most common passwords that are used, 98% of them are used to access online accounts. So it goes to show how reliant we are on these maybe one or two passwords that we've been using for years and years and years. And in turn, they create the vulnerability. So it's like hacker's paradise. They love it because once a hacker is able to, break through and work out our passwords, and if we're using that password on every single, platform, device, operating system, then, our data gets leaked, our data gets stolen, our identities are corrupted, or we're invited to submit our information onto these fake websites, through phishing. All of this is problematic, and hence why there's this rising need that really kind of kicked off on May the 5th last year, 2022. And the idea is that these three tech giants over the next 2 years, which started in May of last year through to the end of 2023, is to make this whole kind of platform, or our access onto online platforms, to be, passwordless systems. So what could that look like? What does that look like? Well, this passkey, the idea of a passkey, is really a cryptographic token. And what's a cryptographic token? A cryptographic token literally is a digital representation of a physical product asset or a virtual product asset. That's literally what it means. And it can be used in so many different ways. In relation to passkeys, it's about access and authentication. Now, this cryptographic token is actually placed, it lives on the blockchain, which is a decentralized ledger that cuts out the middleman, or this middle kind of centralization that we've all experienced as we access services. Just think of the banking service. And so this cryptographic token lives on the blockchain. But how does it relate to passkeys? So imagine you want to sign up or sign into a website or an app. So you would sign in, username, your email address. And what happens is where the kind of identity gets protected. So on the website or the app that you actually sign into is where the public passkey lives. So imagine you've got the website, you've got the server, and the server's in the cloud. Then what happens is when you sign in or sign up, a notification is sent to your phone, and it's called a challenge. Now, what happens here is that the phone will be the central and the sole point of authentication. So it cuts out. This is where the whole idea of security gets simplified. So when you receive that notification, you're either going to sign in with your PIN, or you're going to do a little squiggle, or it's going to be through facial recognition or fingerprint recognition. Anyway, you access your phone. And as soon as you access your phone, this cryptographic token is activated. And within the token is the passkey. So as soon as you activate your phone, the passkey, which is your private passkey, which is specific to you, as soon as that's activated, the two passkeys come together, and that's where the verification process takes place. And all of that data goes up into the cloud. And so because You, me, and everybody else, we have our phones, and we're the only ones who have our phones. This is what brings a heightened level of security, which then makes it even more difficult for the hackers to hack into our accounts and to, to take our data. And when we think about it, the way that we're living even more exponentially within this technological world, a lot of it is being driven by artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence lives and breathes and sleeps and drinks and dies on data, and great amounts of data. So the importance of protecting our personal data, why it is so significant, is the reason why these three tech companies in the form of Apple, who were saying, we're really great at designing these sleek products that are intuitive. And at the same time, we want to create the same type of environment for our users in terms of privacy and security. Microsoft, they're saying, we've got all of these different operating systems and browsers and, trillions of pieces of products, iPhones, etc., that live out in the world. And so we need to create an environment that's cross-platform. Therefore, the friction is then removed. So we no longer have to be thinking, oh God, what password did I use for that particular website? Did I use the same one? Was it a combination of, was it a symbol, and was it a number? Was it a capital letter? Was it, small letters? What did I use to create? Did I document it somewhere, or have I forgotten it? That gets removed completely. So the friction, so we're now entering the phase where it will be frictionless for us to use, apps and websites. And you may be thinking, well, what happens if I actually lose my phone? Not a problem. Because every time you go onto a public website and it's asking for, you to authenticate, that data goes up into the cloud. So it's stored there. So if, for example, you lose your phone and then you get another phone, what happens is that it just gets synced. That data, your private passkey, gets synced onto the new device. So it solves problems all round. And the whole idea is for our relationship with data, with technology, with resources, with products, with services, is to make it seamless, streamlined, and invisible. And that's what these tech giants, together with the FIDO Alliance, are hoping to create. Now, Google started to roll their implementation of it in December 2022. And as I said, all three of them are aiming to ensure that all of the operating systems, devices, all of that gets integrated. So as we roll into 2024, the friction, the headache of passwords will be long forgotten. So between now and then, or you might have even started to notice some of the systems, some of the operating systems and the products are reducing the friction already. If I think about, I'm speaking to you here, yes, I'm live streaming with you on YouTube, but I'm actually using StreamYard as the tool that allows me to broadcast to you. Now, when I sign into StreamYard, for example, I just put my email address in, and then what it does, it sends me the link. So that's the way that I can get in, and once I'm in, that's it. So I don't have to, and anybody else that uses that platform and so many others, the idea of friction is being reduced significantly, which means that we now have more peace of mind, and that will become even more apparent by the end of the year as we move into 2024, that our interactions and our engagements will be protected in a way whereby, we have more peace of mind. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. It's short and sweet because, as I said, this new development that I picked up again while listening to Tom's presentation the other day, which was such a brilliant conference. I mean, I could be extolling its virtues for here on in, but I won't. What I will say is that between now and when we're seeing the wider rollout, change up those passwords. It'd be for a short period of time, because we know by the end of this year, things will have, moved significantly in another direction. But change your password, mix it up so that the likelihood of you being hacked becomes more reduced, and you gain more peace of mind. So that's it for this week. What I'm going to do is go back to what I indicated to you last week, i.e., there's a particular job that's beginning to emerge that I want to bring to your attention. So I'm going to go back to jobs or roles that you can undertake, but there's one in particular that I think that you will find very interesting. I'm going to bring that live again to you next week. So again, 3:30 here next Sunday. And if you have parents who are baby boomers, if you have grandparents who are baby boomers, colleagues, relatives, friends, tell them to come join all of us here, 3:30 on a Sunday, where I'll be sharing these insights and bringing you information that can really help. As you know, my whole theme is around reinvention, psychologically, practically, and technically, so that baby boomers can continue to thrive. So that's it. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you again next Sunday. Bye.